Hi there, welcome to Keeper of the Mountain. I'm Zach and I am the guy that does everything. As many of you know that have been watching all along, I've been building a boat tail Speedster from scratch. Well, almost. Yeah, close enough. Anyway, and my motto is to do a little bit every day because a lot of littles make a big. And that's certainly been the case. But for a very long time, I have been focusing on the function of this car. The engine, the transmission, the suspension, how everything works, how the body is going to have to be changed to fit the function, because, you know, function is important if you want to be able to drive a car. However, I've had about all the function I can handle for a while. I need to do a little bit of form. Yeah, I need a little bit of artwork. So today is artwork day. We are going to work on the shape of the car. In fact, I'm going to start building a buck. And I think you're going to like this one. And, you know, if you haven't been here, you don't know it, but I have this really tiny shop. And the car takes up 75-80% of the shop. And so I really don't have floor space to build a buck next to my car. And I really don't want to build it on top of my car, because that would just be a nightmare to do. So I'm going to build it on the wall. So let's see how that works, because, you know, a two-dimensional buck is might be a little hard to follow, but let's give it a shot. I'm going to draw a picture on the wall, and you know, you tell me if you understand it. If you don't, I'll answer any questions you have. That is, if I have the answer. And if I don't have the answer, I'll probably make something up, because I certainly don't know everything about what I'm doing. In fact, very little of it do I know, because I've never done this before. So come along and I'll show you what I've got done so far and what I'm going to do. A few days ago, I took advantage of the fact that my wife was out of town, and I did a couple things. So my wife's gone for the day and it's raining outside. So I thought I'd take advantage of that time and sneak into the house with something to make it happen. Something I can't do in the rain and I have no room to do in my shop. So let's take a look. It's only me, one spoiled rotten dog, and my mother-in-law. Check it out. I cleared out the floor in the living room, put down some cardboard, and I brought the hood inside. Not the hood of the car, but the hood that's going to be the trunk, because this car has two hoods, because one of the hoods is the trunk and one is the hood, and yeah, you'll figure it out. Anyway, I'm using the hood off of a 40s Lincoln for the trunk lid, for the boat tail shape. You'll see what I'm doing here. Anyway, I traced out one side of it and made a cardboard cutout so that I could draw it on the wall. So then I painted the wall in the garage. It took a little while. I had to do a couple coats, and I went through about 4 cans of paint before I found one that actually was any good, because half the paint got ruined in my basement flood, which, yeah, I showed you a couple of films ago, but this is one that survived. And so I painted the wall white. Now I'll be able to draw on it with a Sharpie and make it work. You'll probably remember last video that we did the grill. We set the hood in place and put the cowl in place. Now, I am not in love with this cowl. I know I keep saying that about different parts of this car, and then I just hock them up with a Sawzall and throw them away. But since the body is going to be steel, and this is fiberglass, I could bond the fiberglass to the steel. It is doable. It's something that's been done. There's special glues for it. It costs money, time, trial and error, all that kind of stuff. And I'm really comfortable using steel, and this thing was set up for a straight, flat windshield. In fact, I have it. It's the other side of the metal, I think, behind the metal. And I'm not real crazy about that. I mean, if it was a Jeep, yeah. But this isn't a Jeep. This is a Mercedes, I guess. I mean, that's what it started out to be. I may end up getting rid of this thing. So, I need a measurement from the back of the hood to this part right here. This is the driving compartment. That's supposedly where the seat goes, and that's the fiberglass seat buckets I got. And holy cow, those things are small. Like a 10-year-old could fit in those. Anyway, I'm going to change that. I'm not going to use those seats, I don't believe, because of the size. But this gives you an idea of the cockpit area. It's actually kind of roomy as it sits right now. Now I may lower this down a little bit. I don't know yet. I do have to make room in here for the carburetor. And there's going to be a 1/2 inch gap between the body and the frame. So I need to measure the distance between here and here and subtract a 1/2 inch. And that'll give me the length of the driving compartment from the hood to the other end of the driving compartment, and that's where I have to build whatever it is I'm going to build for the body. Then I have to come back, or I want to come back about 6 inches. That's 1/2 foot. I don't know what that is in metric. I don't know. But anyway, we're going to come back about 6 inches from that and then start using the hood. And the hood is going to go back to a point in the middle back here. So what I'm going to do on the wall is I'm going to draw a straight line, and I'm going to make that the middle of the car, and then I'm going to draw half of the car on the wall. And then I can just use that for both halves, and then they'll both match. If you don't understand, you will in time. So I clamped this piece of angle iron to the frame so that I've got a consistent measurement all the way down at several different levels, so I can get a nice straight measurement. Let's get to drawing and see how this works. I chopped up a bunch of pieces of oak. It's all off of pallets, you know, because a lot of times pallets are made out of hardwoods, and so I went ahead and chopped up enough pieces with points on the ends so that I can get exact locations. All right, so with all those blocks set up on there, now I can shape the metal to fit it. It's a piece of 3/4 inch square tubing, and once I get it to lay in there without any load being, you know, without it being under any stress, well, then it'll be exactly the shape I need, and then I can do it over and over and over again for as many as I need. In this case, I'm going to need 4 that are the full length and at least 2 that aren't, you know, that are just partials. I think this is going to work good as a buck of sorts. I mean, it's not the kind of buck you typically think of where it's like the whole shape of the vehicle and you shape everything around it and all that, but this, yeah, maybe you call this a jig. I don't know. I can't dance.